Now, the violence in hip-hop is definitely getting out of hand. Yesterday, a very tragic story broke involving a 30 rapper from Texas named Get Money Lil Ronnie was shot and killed at a Fort Worth car wash in broad daylight. And what makes this even worse is that his 5-year-old daughter was killed alongside him. The story has been making national headlines over the last 48 hours, and honestly, it's not hard to see why we often hear about rappers losing their lives. But this one is really different, and in this video, I want to have a serious conversation about the topic at hand. When I first saw the headlines, I had to read it twice. A rapper getting killed is unfortunate. Nothing new, but the fact that a 5-year-old girl was caught in the middle of it, that just makes it even more heartbreaking. I think this might be one of the most gut-wrenching stories coming out of hip-hop in a while. It's the kind of tragedy that just sticks with you, because at the end of the day, that wasn't just about rap. It was about a father and his child taking way too soon to get money. Lil Ronnie wasn't looking for any trouble. He was literally just cleaning his car out of the car wash with his daughter when two men pulled up, got out, and started shooting. The fact that they didn't care who was there, that's a different level of evil. And the craziest part, this was a random. Police believe this was a targeted hit. So whoever did this knew exactly who they were going after, and they still didn't think twice about firing with a child standing right there. That just goes to show you how reckless and cold-hearted some people are. When it comes to taking a life, the little girl had just celebrated her 5th birthday the day before this happened, probably still full of excitement from her special day. And now she's gone. At some point, you gotta ask yourself, where does the cycle end? It's one thing when grown men get caught up in street politics, but when kids start losing their lives because of it, that's when you realize this has gone way too far. I want to go through this Fox 4 News article that lays out the full details of what happened so we can get a clear picture of this tragedy. Rapper Get Money with his 5-year-old daughter killed in Forest Hill car wash shooting. The family says Forest Hill police say a 30-year-old man and a 5-year-old girl were in a bay at the car wash when two men got out of a 4-door Kia and shot them before getting away. Officers who responded tried to save the two shooting victims, but they were pronounced dead at the scene. Sky 4 video shows dozens of evidence markers around a maroon Challenger. Police say one of the suspects has been identified and a warrant for their arrest was issued. However, the police department said that it is not ready to release the suspect's name. Additional police officers were called in to help with crowd control because of the number of people who showed up at the scene after the shooting. Police believe it was a targeted shooting. While police have not identified the victims, a family member at the scene told Fox the victims were Chucky Smith and his 5-year-old daughter. He was a rapper, he didn't bother nobody, he didn't target nobody, he was a family man, and he was going around to rapping. Okay, but why would they target him, said Stella Houston, the victim's aunt. Houston says the little girl just celebrated her birthday on Sunday, cleaning the car out, and somebody came through shooting and killed him. And a baby, Becky Johnson, lives across the street from the car wash. She heard multiple rounds of gunfire from inside her home. 6, the first time she's talking about gunshots. And then it was half a second, and I heard 6 more. Then seconds later, I heard 3. She recalled Johnson says she was startled by what she says sounded like back-tack gunfire. I could see people fleeing for their cars. She said Johnson was watching customers take cover behind their vehicles. The car wash sent out a statement saying it's working to assist police and will remain closed for at least the next 2 days. Forest Hill police say this marks the city's 4th and 5th murder so far this year, compared to 0 in 2024. In February, 2 people were killed in a car dealership. A woman in a separate incident was killed by a stray bullet in her backyard. Honestly, guys, this story definitely, up. I don't really know what way to put it, honestly. Usually when you hear these stories of ER getting taken out too soon in hip-hop, the majority of those stories happen in a bubble, meaning it's one person that ends up getting taken out. We've all heard about the countless stories in hip-hop involving rappers getting brutally gunned down, and a lot of these stories have been so tragic. Now, the majority of them have involved rappers getting shot and killed, but we've of course also covered a lot of deaths involving rappers overdosing. So you hear these stories and they happen in a bubble. Obviously, it's very tragic that they happen. But then again, on the quote-unquote bright side, even though there's no real bright side of someone passing away and getting killed, right? It's happening in a bubble. But for this particular story, we have a 5-year-old little girl who ended up getting shot and killed alongside her father. Usually I'm kind of, able to brush off a lot of these stories. But I'll be honest with you guys, I heard about this story, my body just I was so tense. I couldn't really even believe what I was seeing and hearing. This was truly heartbreaking. I don't really know what to tell you. The fact that we have little children, a 5-year-old girl got gunned down in this brutal fashion. What is this street code that we all keep on talking about? Because obviously it doesn't really exist. And I don't want to speak too much about Get Money Lil Ronnie because I don't really know his story. This was actually the first time I had heard about him. Apparently he was on tour with Soulja Boy at one point. Apparently he was really big in Fort Worth, which is in Texas, right? And it wouldn't really be too crazy that I haven't heard about him because I've noticed that a lot of rappers from Texas, whether it be Dallas or Houston, when they're really big in those cities, they're kind of almost in their own world. It didn't seem like he kind of had some momentum in his own little world, and I'm sure he would have been very successful going into the future. Obviously now, this happened, so this is where his story ends. But guys, this should be proved that the so-called streets that a lot of rappers talk about, it's played out, it's simple gang violence. It's never going to be contained within its own world. That's just not possible at a certain point. It does seep itself into the community. And what ends up happening is innocent people get caught in the middle. I just hate how children have to be caught up in this bullshit, man. Now this situation, I don't want to speak prematurely, but usually this is either someone who's very jealous of the mans. You know, the young mans. He was young, right? He was only 30 years old. Lil Ronnie, success. Or it could be a street beef. I don't really know too much about the street politics, so I'm not going to talk about that for me. My main concern here is just that children shouldn't be caught in the middle of it. If y'all got some shit going on, I get it, but don't kill the children when you're trying to get to the person you got an issue with in the streets. And like I said before, it's like the street code doesn't exist because y'all kill anybody who moves that shit. It doesn't exist because if that existed, you guys would actually have enough constraint to not kill children. If you want to get somebody and cause harm onto them, that is your issue. That's an issue between you and the person. Children should never be hurt. The glorification of this issue has taken so many lives, it's crazy. And sometimes I wonder, is it ever going to end? It seems like the violence just keeps on getting worse and worse, even though morals has never truly existed in the streets. There was a time when they were mostly okay, mostly only killing each other, but as time goes on, more innocent people get caught up in the middle of it. And you know why I think that? It's because a lot of these young boys, you know, these guns, first of all, they get zero discipline. They come from a background of no structure, probably didn't have a father in their life. They were raised by the streets. Growing up, they probably looked up to dope dealers. And you know the rappers talking this shit? And now they get a chance to prove themselves in the streets, right? So they pick up a gun, start stalking their, ops. And as soon as they see him, boom, 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 boom. Just like that, they don't care who's in the car. They don't care who's in the vicinity. They don't care if there's an old lady right behind that car walking her dog and her children. Whatever they don't care, all they care about is just shooting. No discipline, no thoughts pop up of the consequences that's going to follow them. When they take those shots, this is the kind of shit I hate seeing. I hate seeing babies getting caught up in the middle of y'all bullshit. I hate seeing innocent people getting killed because, I have issues. And I'm not insinuating Lil Ronnie was in the streets. I don't know, right? But what I do know is that he did rap about the streets and his music. So what comes with doing that is you're placing yourself in that automatically by default because you're rapping about it, because you're talking about the lifestyle you're now a part of, that again his family is grieving right now. Truly, my heart goes out to them. I'm just trying to speak on the real side of the conversation because these are some very real things. Just yesterday I spoke about Takeoff and how Takeoff over 2 years ago died. Takeoff wasn't looking for any issues. He was out with his uncle Quavo, and then Quavo sadly got into an argument with somebody at the function, and the next thing you know, somebody ends up shooting and they kill Takeoff. Now that situation was obviously not premeditated like this situation, but the point still stands. Innocent people getting killed for absolutely no reason is crazy. Obviously, this has been happening, but you guys can't tell me that you don't feel something when you hear a 5-year-old girl getting shot up in a car. Her body got riddled with bullets. That little girl, bro, I hope she didn't suffer. I can't even imagine if she was alive through that. I cannot imagine the pain that little girl was feeling, bro. That's fucked up. It's fucked up what you guys are doing, bro. And I know my voice doesn't even reach that side of the world. I know that I'm preaching to the choir right now, but still, guys, this shit fucked me up. That beautiful little girl, she was a beautiful little girl, man. She got killed at 5 guys. Bunch of grown-up men with guns pulling up, chasing her daddy down, killing him, and then killing her in the process. She was 5 years old, bro. Breaks my heart, man. Absolutely breaks my heart, man. I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say, guys. I'll be honest with you. I just hope my family is able to find some, peace during this time. And for the love of God, man, please stop killing children because you guys got issues. This is crazy. This is insane. This should never happen. It should never happen. I shouldn't have to make this video ever, but here I am. Anyway, if you guys made it this far, I appreciate you guys so much for watching this video. I'm not even going to ask you what you think about this story. It's a horrible story. It's a tragedy, and I just hope that we don't hear more about these types of stories, honestly. So anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.